everyone. Welcome to Long Story Short, the podcast. I'm Megan.
I'm Wendy.
Today, we're going to keep things light as opposed to last week's episode, and we're going to talk about some of our favorite snack and junk food items. I am so excited. I have a full bag right next to me.
So do I.
Have visual aids. You know we have a lot to say about that, but a few quick reminders about where you can find us outside of the podcast. You can always find us on Instagram, where we are Megan and Wendy LSS. And of course, you can find us in our Facebook group, which is Long Story Shorties.
I want to say shout out to our Shorties community last week. I was rage cleaning my house last Friday. I was in a real mood, and I went in there and I was like, give me your best music suggestions for like rage cleaning, pissed off at the world. And they delivered, man. They delivered. Megan, I don't know about your suggestion, but everybody else.
Did you try it though?
Only if I knew the words and could sing along do I think that particular soundtrack, what is it?
So look, I suggested the Aida soundtrack, the musical, not the opera. It's both. But guys, first of all, I know every word to every song in that soundtrack, so that's why it helps. But it has like such good belty female power ballads that I think it gets the job done. But you're right, you do need to know the words.
Right, exactly. So I'm not opposed to visiting that soundtrack because I might want to do that. But the Shorties community in our Facebook group definitely came through with some suggestions. There was a lot of Eminem, which really surprised me.
Really?
Which I love anyway. Yeah, it was great, and it did the job.
All right.
Definitely. Yeah. So today is a video podcast for those who are listening. I want to give a shout out to our Patreon subscribers. Today is a video podcast, like I said. So if you want to watch this episode, you can. You want to visit patreon.com/Megan and Wendy. And listen, Patreon, every time I type it out, I have to double check it because it is a weird word, right?
Indeed.
It's so weird. It's patreon.com/Megan and Wendy. Yep. Also, I wanted to add a little side note. If you want more from us, but Patreon is not a reality for you. We get it. We understand. We see you. You can check out 5 years worth of videos on our YouTube page that still exists. It's youtube.com. Long Story Short
Show.
You know, I have to look at we are a lot of names in a lot of places.
I know.
Someday we'll just be Megan and Wendy, and people will just know us as Megan and Wendy. Can you imagine Twitter, Instagram, the just Megan and Wendy, blue check mark, first names only.
2022 goals.
Put it on a vision board. Anyway, now onto my favorite part of the show. It's emails. You can always email us with your thoughts, your feedback, whatever you would like. meganandwendy@gmail.com. Megan, hit us with the emails.
We have so many. And I want to start with one comment we received that pointed out that we did not acknowledge single mothers in last week's episode. And you're right, we didn't. And we're sorry. That was a mistake on our part. And we hear you. Next up, we have an email from Ashley, who says, I've been meaning to shoot an email your way, but life keeps getting in the way. I really love the talk on Mother's Day. I have some similar hangups, but it all boils down to one thing. I don't like the calendar date or societal pressure to feel a certain way. For basically every holiday, I get overwhelmed with this must be fun, memorable, heartwarming. No, I can't put it on and off like that. And the pressure to make it or feel it makes me pull hard the other way into I hate this. So that's what makes me a super fun person to be around.
Ashley, you and I could be best friends.
She also says, I also wanted to toss in my weird ass bedtime routine since we talked about this a while back. I am recently remarried and we are struggling with sleep. We're both low-level insomniacs, but I need like perfect storm conditions to sleep. Cool temps, lots of blankets, absolute crazy darkness, air movement, and silence. However, this new husband swung the complete opposite direction and needs to have TV on. I seriously almost broke up with him after I learned this. Stone cold.
They need separate bedrooms, I think.
We're still figuring it out. Right now, we kind of sleep opposite. I actually, quite frankly, am not opposed to the idea of separate bedrooms.
Me neither.
You have different sleep needs. You don't need to, you're asleep.
Right.
You're not connecting in that moment.
Right.
As she says, I've started sleeping with a hoodie over my eyes. Eye masks are too uncomfortable and usually have the ever so quiet Velcro. But now that it is summer, I would sweat to death in a full-blown hoodie. Husband, being the best, just found a Just a Hood hoodie. The brand is sohoodie.com. We'll leave a link if you are so inclined.
Oh my God. Wait, how does that work? It just ties around your neck?
She says, it legit looks like I put a tiny falcon hat on myself at night. It covers my eyes and ears from some noise, allows for lots of breathing, and I have slept a little better lately. And she says, super weird, right? I don't think that's any weirder than any of the other steps. Eye masks, blackout curtains, whatever it takes.
So I'm thinking like the hoodie leaves like this amount.
Note for the audio, Wendy's showing just like the nose mouth triangle.
That is amazing. I cannot wait to find that. We will definitely link it in the show notes. That's hilarious.
Sohoodie.com is the brand.
I want to say something in reaction to her note on Mother's Day. So she was talking about how she pulls away when it's like there's so much pressure to like, it has to be the most memorable best day ever. That's how I feel when it comes to Christmas. You know how I feel about Christmas. So yeah, I hear you. I feel you. You are seen, Ashley. You're not alone.
The final email we're reading from today, is from Heidi, who says, I was laughing so hard when you brought this up. The subject is misophonia. And it says, I had no idea it was an actual thing. I definitely have this. My husband's father is the worst to be at the table with. I have the hardest time eating dinner with him. I have to tell myself to just keep quiet and that they will only be visiting for a short amount of time. Then, to make it worse, right after I listened to the podcast, I got home from my walk and my husband was eating a bowl of cereal and making so much noise. I actually started laughing out loud. He looked at me like I was crazy. She also follows up. She shared a bit about her nighttime routine, and she was talking about, they eat like closer to 7 or 8, and then she does a number of things. And I was like, what time does she go to bed to have all this time after dinner? Because to me, like 8 o'clock, I'm out.
Yeah.
So she says, you wondered what time I go to bed. We go upstairs around 9:30, watch a show for about an hour or so. So usually I'm falling asleep between 10:30 and 11, and my alarm goes off at 6 to go for my morning walk.
Okay, she's getting more hours than I thought she would be. I thought she'd be like a 4-hour, 5-hour a night sleeper. And I almost thought you were going to say, like, they get in bed to watch a show and then her husband falls asleep and she gets out of bed.
To go clean the house.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That is so funny. Yeah, man, that misophonia, that is so real. Like, I need a fix for it. Is there a fix for it? I don't know.
Not eating dinner as a family.
Yes.
Earplugs. I know, my husband's like, I think you need earplugs. I honestly think that wouldn't be a bad idea.
Could you imagine sitting down to dinner and you're like, excuse me, let me put my earplugs. I don't want to hear you.
I should put my AirPods with some white noise. I don't have to hear you people chew. It's a great family experience. We got a ton of responses regarding Mother's Day, both in email and on social media, in our Facebook group and Instagram. And so, while we're happy that resonated with a lot of you, also we see you and we know that that's hard. One thing that I noticed is I got emails from a couple of brands the week prior to Mother's Day, and they said, if you don't want targeted Mother's Day or Father's Day advertising, click here, and then you're not going to get, our newsletters, our ads that are coming in email that are like, get this for your mom, get this for your dad, which I thought was great.
You texted me and said, we need to talk about John Stamos.
What I was saying is, last week on American Idol, John Stamos was the guest
mentor.
Thank you.
Okay.
And Wendy and I talked about American Idol last week, but I forgot to mention how much I enjoyed him as a mentor. I loved him. I thought he gave such great feedback. I love John Stamos. How can you not love John Stamos? I feel like, first of all, he's one of the most beautiful people on the planet, is perhaps aging in reverse. Like, it is super unfair how handsome he is. But also, I just was like, how great are you? I like you so much.
All those things, I agree. I mean, like Uncle Jesse forever. He was also Blackie on General Hospital when I was a child.
Oh.
I want to talk about him for just a second. Please tell me you didn't Google anything about him.
I did not. Uh-oh.
Okay. No. It's all good. Do you know how old he is?
Oh, no.
If you had to guess.
I would guess 54.
57.
Whoa. I know he looks 54. I'm just like, he was Uncle Jesse when I was a kid. He's got to be older than me.
Right. But is it weird to be like a woman of a certain age now and think that a almost 60-year-old is still hot, can still get it?
I mean, like, look, to call him an almost 60-year-old, I mean, I'm an almost 45-year-old.
No, but 60-year-old was always like your grandpa, like when you were young, right? 60 seemed very far away and very old. Can you just even... It's hard for me to accept that I find a almost 60, 57-year-old man attractive.
I hear what you're saying. I just feel like it feels like hopeful, right? Because I think the Golden Girls, like, how old were the Golden Girls supposed to be on their show?
What?
Like, not that old. Like, you think they're like 70 and 80 years old on that show. Right. And I think they're like 50 and like early 60s.
Oh, God.
So I think like our perception just gives me hope, like, right? Many, many years to come.
Yeah. So did you know he was also, I didn't know this until today, he's from Orange County.
I did not know that either.
Born in Cyprus, went to high school in La Palma. Can you believe that? I didn't.
Fun fact.
I wasn't aware. Yeah, fun fact. Anyway, he is on a new show on Disney Plus called Big Shot. Have you seen it?
No, we've been meaning to, but we've been watching the Mighty Ducks reboot on Disney.
Oh, how's that?
It's
side
cute,
note?
and Lauren Graham's in it.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to watch that. Would I like that?
I mean, it's definitely a kid's show. It's Disney Plus, right? So it's cute. I mean, it has Emilio Estevez. We had recently watched all 3 of the Mighty Ducks movies, so my kids are super into it. I enjoy it.
So we started watching Big Shot. We thought, like, oh, this is a great show to watch as a family, because, you know, weeks and weeks ago we talked about family shows.
Yes.
So we tried to get my daughter to watch it. She, like, tapped out after the first episode. My husband and I, though, watch it every week. You know, 2 of us on the couch. Big Shot's on. Let's watch it. John Stamos was doing a interview on the Howard Stern show that I listened to. I love Howard Stern. Anyway, he was talking about, like, you know, he's recently newly married.
Oh.
And has I don't know if it's a newborn anymore, has a young baby. And the whole, like, interview, a lot of it was about how he used to be this playboy and blah, 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 and all this stuff, right? And he's like, yeah, I'm shooting this new show, Big Shot. This is prior to us watching it. And he's like, you know, I really had to check myself. He goes, I rolled up to film this day and there's a bunch of girls in like Catholic schoolgirl outfits. And he goes, I had to like really check myself. And I was like,
yikes.
That's gross. And now I'm watching the show and yes, he's like a high school basketball coach at an all girls school where they wear uniforms. And I'm like, this makes me kind of uncomfortable that he had a nanosecond thought like, oh, these girls could be hot and this is a dirty thought. But now he's like this father figure to them on this show. So I was like, oh, I don't like that. But I still like the show. And I still like John Stamos. I just thought that was I don't know, whatever.
Well, last week he was the guest judge on American Idol, guest mentor. This week it was Coldplay, and I would like to say that after last night's elimination on American Idol, I have officially quit, and I will not be watching the next 2 episodes.
I will let you know who wins.
I'll check, so yeah, Wendy or Twitter will tell me. I'm out.
Your sweet boy, Hunter.
He was a family favorite.
Look, you never say who you like out loud, because it just jinxes it.
I know. Look, I actually don't think, like, voice for voice, he's the single most talented person there. Like, I don't, like, you can't, like, Willie and Grace, right?
Yeah.
However,
I think Hunter just fits the package. You know what I mean?
I think he is the most complete package of anybody there. Of everybody left in the show, who can I see myself going to a concert for tomorrow and downloading their music? It's Hunter. It's Hunter. So,
well, I mean, that's still a possibility, but mark my words, you won't remember that guy's name next year.
I agree with you. Every year, I'm very disappointed by some elimination. All right, tell me about your free as a bird moment.
Listen, for Christmas, we bought 2 of those bird scooters. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, these the Bird is the brand. They're an electric scooter. And if you live in any kind of big city, they're all over. Like they're all over LA. They're all over Austin. They're all over, I don't know, wherever.
San Diego, they're everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. My first experience with them a couple years ago, we were staying in Santa Monica and I was like, yeah, let's jump on these and take the boardwalk to Venice. And it was like the greatest thing in my life. So I was like, when they went on sale for like the public, we bought some. Now, I have been really wanting to like feel free as a bird, no pun intended. I took my electric scooter over to the OC Great Park. I went to this park and it was great. It was a Friday morning. This is a nice, very clean, safe park. Like there were maintenance people all over the place. Like there was not one leaf on the sidewalk. It was amazing. And I just
those Irvine parks, man,
I put my earbuds in. I listened to Eminem. I listened to some 90s hip hop, every jam that I loved in high school. And I rode that bird until it did not have a single ounce of energy left. It was amazing.
Now, how long does that last?
Well, I don't think it was powered up all the way. So okay. I got about an hour out of it.
Well,
but it was so much fun. Like when I was in high school, I used to roller skate and it gave me that same sort of like wind in the air. Like,
but you got a handle to hold on to now.
I was holding on to that handle. I know my husband's like, please tell me you wore a helmet. Please. I was waiting for a phone call that you were going to fall off that thing and break another arm. But God, it was amazing. And luckily I have 2 of these birds. I'm going to take you out. You'll see.
I was going to say, when are you inviting me to ride a bird scooter?
When your schedule is free, my friend. It was amazing. So amazing.
I can't wait.
We can't talk to each other though. Cause you gotta put the headphones on.
Fine. And I can get in the zone.
Yeah. I was like waving at people. Oh, BTW. There was a men's soccer team training there and woo, I look like some old lady cruising around. Here I am again, guys. Here I am again. Oof. Hotness. So anyway, it was so much fun. Like, I think I need to make it a weekly thing. It was so great. And after I was done, I had so much like adrenaline. It felt like I had worked out, but I didn't really work out.
Yeah, but you got those endorphins?
Yes. That's the word I was looking for. Endorphins. Yeah. It was fan-freaking-tastic.
I would like to have a weekly bird scooter date in the summer.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. We'll have to do it early. It gets hot in Irvine. So if you can make it early.
Let's go early.
Okay.
Wendy has a question.
Do you, and our listeners, you have to email us or jump in our Facebook group. Do you put your shopping cart away after you're done grocery shopping?
I always, at the very least, put it in a shopping cart corral.
Mm-hmm.
When I go to Trader Joe's, they don't have the corral, so I always return those carts to the front of the store.
Why doesn't your Trader Joe's have a corral?
I don't know, but they don't. So the Trader Joe's carts are always, and it's the same parking lot. There's a grocery store there, and the grocery store has corrals, but the Trader Joe's area does not.
Mm-hmm.
So the Trader Joe's carts are always strewn throughout the parking lot, but I always assume someone's watching me. So I always, I'll be honest, I don't want to. Like, the last thing I want to do is then turn around, walk back up to the store and back to my car because I'm extra lazy, but... the idea that someone might see me just stash the cart when I'm perfectly able-bodied and can return it. Okay, so I have to admit that I had this memory yesterday, and it must have been a Mother's Day weekend, and that's why it popped up in my memory yesterday. But when my daughter was in preschool, it was a Sunday evening, and we were coming home from somewhere, and I was like, I need to go run in, and I have snack tomorrow for preschool, so I need to run in and get something. Well, I didn't want to return the cart, so I just stashed it in the parking stall, whatever, next to us, which, this is my bad, and I apologize for it. It was a handicap stall. So I am here to say that I did not do the right thing. Well, an elderly person then pulls up, and she's pissed because the cart is in the space. I get it. Anyway, this lady was so mad, she attempted to open my car door and come for me. Yeah. Thankfully, my husband got out of the car and he was sorry, smoothed it all over and ever, but she was pissed, rightly so. But it was kind of a scary moment. Anyway, I tell my husband, I go, remember when that happened? And he's like, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, there's this show
either it's on YouTube or it's a radio show. I don't know, but it's called Cart Narcs. And they film people and then approach them in parking lots when they do not put the cart back in the corral or up to the front of the store. Can you imagine being confronted in a parking lot?
No, I'd be horrified. I will say, when my children were younger, I was less likely to return a cart because you'd get them into the car and then you didn't want to like leave them in the car to run the cart back. But
well, that's what I said. That's what I said to my husband. I go, well, what about those parents who have a child? And he goes, nope, they confront them anyway because you can still take the cart back up and then carry the child back to the car. Yes, if you've got one, but if you got like a gaggle of kids or whatever, even two is difficult to manage, right?
Yeah, going to the grocery store is unpleasant with children. That's not to say that you shouldn't make an effort to return the cart, but I will admit that definitely had my days.
Yeah, well, ever since I was confronted by that woman, and rightly so, I always put my cart back. Always.
Do you return your carts? Well, have you ever been cart shamed? Let us know. And we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come right back and talk about snacks and junk food. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Celestial Shell. If you're looking for handmade items, we're always looking for something that's a little more special, right? Something you're not going to find on Amazon or Target. She's got you covered. She has handmade items like book sleeves, zippered pouches, sunglasses cases. She has adorable fabric bins. Wendy shared them on a recent video podcast. You can browse all of the items in her shop at celestialshell.com and use code LSSFriends15 at checkout for a discount. So we like to keep a little bit of balance around here, and that goes for the weight of our episode. So last week we talked about Mother's Day, and it was heavy, and we wanted to completely go the opposite direction and go super light, and we wanted to talk about the snacks and the junk food that we love. And this was already on the calendar, but last week we have an Instagram account for our Megan and Wendy approved items where we're just linking all of those up. And there was a conversation that happened in the stories over there where we were talking about a candy that I enjoy. And there was a lot of feedback about candy. So I feel like you're our people.
Well, I tell you, I went to the grocery store this morning because I thought, yeah, let's have some visual impact for this, video podcast today on Patreon. I felt like I had a real problem because I was like buying all this like junk food and I was like, oh my God, please, I don't want to run into anybody. They might think I have a real problem. So you're feeling the weird. And I'm going to say up top here that I probably do have like some difficulty with feeling shameful about eating certain foods. So, but I'm just going to put that aside and I'm going to share with everybody here, like my go-to feel better. I want to eat this snacks.
Look, food has no moral value. There's no such thing as bad food, right? There's food that is nutritious. There's food that makes us feel a certain way, but we are not like, this is not our bad food episode. This is just like, it's snacks. It's candy. It's not morally good or bad. Yeah. We are not placing a value on it. Okay?
For sure.
Look, I like snacks and candy.
I said it. I like snacks and candy.
I eat the occasional salad, okay? I can get down with the McDonald's drive-thru. I'm just saying. Okay, before we dig right into it, I would like to ask you a few quick questions.
Okay.
Sweet or salty?
I'm going to say I lean towards salty. It just depends on my mood. I like both.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. What about you?
Chocolate or gummy?
These are just for me?
Yeah.
Oh, chocolate.
Barbecue or salt and vinegar chips?
Barbecue. I hate salt and vinegar.
Me too.
It's like too pungent.
I don't understand the appeal.
Me either.
Salsa or guacamole?
I like both.
Okay.
But I would say, salsa.
Interesting. Cereal for dinner, yay or nay?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
This is why we're friends, dude.
Yes.
You know, when Megan and I go out of town together, like, there's no question. There's always, like, we stop to get junk food. It's just how it is. Like, we're okay with, like, hey, what do you want for dinner, McDonald's? All right, yeah, great. Let's go get that.
Piles of candy in our room.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just dive in.
Dive in. I want to see what you got.
Have you tried popcorners?
No, those look too healthy.
Well, I don't have any idea. Maybe they're considered lighter. This is the kettle corn version. They're basically popcorn chips.
I'm into it.
You know, the kettle corn is a little bit sweet, a little bit salty. They have a more savory version. I think they have like a cheddar version. They definitely have other flavors. But these are like, you can just shove them in your mouth. I like them.
Are those at the regular grocery store?
Yes, they often sell these at Costco, but they sell these at the regular grocery store. I will admit I bought them at Walgreens this morning. Because Walgreens has a better candy selection than my grocery store, so that's where I went this morning.
Okay, if we're going to stick with chips. These are not chips, but these are what I love. There are the Cheetos, original Cheetos Crunchy. Don't give me that Puffs. I don't like the Puff.
I love a Puff!
Nah, see? That's typical Megan and Wendy there. But I love Cheetos. Orange Cheetos. Delicious. Nothing better than a sandwich and a bag of Cheetos for lunch. I just love it.
Peanut butter and jelly and a Coke.
Now you're talking. Now you are talking.
They did not have these in my store, but a cheese-based snack that I enjoy are the Cheez-Its Extra Toasty. Oh, she's got them! Are they the Extra Toasties?
Yes, they are. They're my favorite.
My husband, I bought those, and I was like, aren't these so good? He goes, they taste like ash. He thinks they taste like actual burnt pieces of fire.
Oh.
I was like, they're so much better than regular Cheez-Its.
I always love the ones that are a little extra burnt. Those are my favorite. I can't get anyone else in my house to eat the extra toasty ones. So they're all for me.
Isn't that weird? That's good. Then they leave them alone. Do you like an extra crispy fry? Like, do you like those fries that you get that are sometimes like really well done?
Yeah, I do. I like burnt things. I like a burnt s'more. I like a burnt hot dog.
Yeah.
I like a burnt piece of barbecue chicken.
Yeah.
Maybe I just have a taste for, burnt things. I don't know, but I love those Cheez-Its for sure. These are I usually attach my wagon to one thing and I'll eat it and eat it and eat it until I get burned out on it. It is for me right now, the Quaker Big Chewy granola bar. I don't know why I love these so much, but dang, they're good.
Do they remind you of a Kudos?
God, I loved Kudos.
Me too.
The kind with the peanut butter on them that were covered in chocolate. Yes, so good.
They were just a candy bar, but my mom bought them and they were in my lunchbox and they masqueraded as a granola bar.
Right.
They definitely were not. I mean, they're straight up candy bar, but do they still make a Kudos? I loved a Kudos.
I don't know if they make Kudos anymore. But this one is the chocolate chip. I actually like the peanut butter ones, but these were buy one, get one free today and they didn't have the peanut butter ones, but they're good. They call them Big Chewy. They're a little bit bigger than the regular size Quaker granola bars.
And they have a delicious chocolate drizzle on top.
They absolutely do. And they are super good.
I love a Quaker granola bar, even just the regular ones.
And you know what? I feel like that's a better choice when I go to grab it. I know it's not, but it's delicious.
My children don't like them. I keep buying them. I think they like them, and they don't, so I end up eating them all.
Well, hey.
I've got the brownie brittle. This is one of those things I don't buy that often because to me, this is a single serving bag. Mm-hmm. And this is not even a particularly large bag. The Costco bag is the wild bag. And there's Trader Joe's has their own brownie brittle version. But the crunchy brownie deliciousness, if you're a brownie corner person, so good.
I don't really like those. We buy them here too. My daughter loves them. I don't know why I don't like them. Maybe I need more of they're kind of thin. I don't know what it is. They're just not my go-to.
Okay. Well, I have something else that you may also dislike, but you show me what you had next.
Well, it's okay. We don't have to like everything.
I know. I'm not feeling judged.
I have a few things left. I love cookies, but these are my go-to. It is a Newton, Fig Newton.
Oh, I love a Fig Newton.
Nabisco Newton's soft and chewy Fig Newton. Why are Fig Newtons so good? They're
I bought
delicious.
the Trader Joe's versions last week. They're not as good.
We all know that Trader Joe's is not as good as other.
They're cookies. I mean, they have some excellent options, but, we don't like a JoJo. And apparently their Newtons are not as good either.
Well, I love a Fig Newton. And somebody told me that sometimes there's like bug parts in these or something like that. I don't know. Bees, maybe? I don't know. I think I either heard a story or saw a story or read a story that sometimes you could get bug parts in your Fig Newtons. And I'm sure that's with anything, any processed food. But I think about that every time I eat them, but I still love them. Love them, love them. So weird. I know.
Okay. Speaking of not enough cookie and too much chip, we have the Oreo Thins. Now, I love all kinds of Oreos. Like, I love a regular Oreo. I love a double stuff. I love a mint Oreo. I love a peanut butter Oreo. Like, I enjoy an Oreo.
Mm-hmm.
But I like an Oreo Thin. Now,
why?
Because it's like eating cookie chips.
See,
not enough filling is what you're going to say.
That's right. Because give me the mega stuff. That's what I want.
I enjoy those too, but there's something about the poppability of these. You can just eat like, I was going to say 8 of them and then felt guilty about that number, but no, you can eat like 8 of them at a time. I enjoy them.
You just feel like I'm just eating the cookie. They're not as bad.
I'm eating a chip. Yeah.
A chip of cookie. Okay. Very long time ago, there was a company called Dolly Madison.
Yeah.
I don't believe Dolly Madison still exists, or at least it doesn't here in California. And they used to make zingers. Zingers, right? You know what a zinger is, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, I believe Hostess bought them. And these are my absolute favorite zingers. This is a real treat. These are the raspberry filled, the red ones with the coconut on them. They are so good. The Hostess version is not as great as the Dolly Madison ones, but these are a real close runner-up.
I've never had a zinger.
What? You've had like a Hostess cupcake though, with like the white swirl on the top,
of course,
or a Twinkie. It's all the same. It's all the same thing. It's basically a Twinkie coated red raspberry flavoring and a sprinkle of coconut. Raspberry ice cake with creamy filling.
Huh.
I'll save you some when we go on our bird ride. We'll just ride around on our birds, eating zingers.
Yeah. All right. I grabbed a bunch of candy. Now, I am the candy lady. I enjoy candy. There aren't a lot of candies that I don't like. And some people are like, well, I wouldn't eat a candy that I don't love because, like, why, like, waste the calories, right? But if there's a candy in front of me, even if it's not one of my favorites, and it's the only candy available, I'm going to eat it.
Okay, stop right there. I'm going to shoot off a couple names. You tell me if you eat them or not, okay? Would you eat them? Ready?
No.
Jolly Ranchers.
No.
Hot tamales.
Yes.
Lemon Heads.
No.
Lifesavers.
No.
Those orange slices.
No, but the spearmint slices, yes.
Werther's Originals.
No.
The sour cherry balls.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking. Yeah, you know what I'm talking. They have those at Disneyland, Yeah. Candy canes.
Yes.
Twix.
Yes.
Milky Way.
No.
Three Musketeer.
No.
Almond Joy.
Yes.
Plain M&Ms.
Yes.
Okay, fine. You said no to a lot of ones that I'm kind of surprised about. Lemon Heads, those are my absolute favorite.
Nope, don't like lemon heads. I'm not a big hard candy person.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like the Jolly Rancher or the Werther's Originals. And then like the Three Musketeers and the Milky Way, I don't really like a candy bar. Well, I don't love milk chocolate. I like it. I'll eat plenty of it. But I don't really like a candy bar that's like soft on the inside. Like, for example, I'm a big fan of the classic Snickers because it has the stuff. We got nougat, we've got caramel, we've got peanuts. I need something going on. Same thing with my ice cream. I like my ice cream to have stuff inside. Obviously, we could not let a moment go by without discussing the Nerds gummy clusters. Like, have you seen they have this new size bag?
Yeah. I saw it at the grocery store this morning, actually.
Yes, they're getting easier to find in this size bag at the grocery checkout. I'm a big fan. If you haven't tried these, I'm warning you, they are quite addictive.
They are.
like a Nerds rope in bite-sized form if you've had that experience.
I ate so many a couple nights ago before bed, and I'm going to tell you, I woke up with the acid reflux, like sore throat.
Mm-hmm.
Oof, don't do that, guys.
To me more than I care to admit. Now, I love pretty much every candy that Haribo has ever made. And in a recent Instagram post, we shared that the very best place to get the best selection is World Market. You can buy them in store. They sell quite a few of them online. Like, your grocery store will have a few, but like they have so many that you've never heard of. It is a fun experiment to try them all. I like just about all of them. The only ones that I have tried and I didn't like were the ginger lemon chewies. They didn't do it for me.
Gross.
And I won't try the black licorice. Like, I'm not here for that. But I think I pretty much, like, everything else I have tried, I have enjoyed. There are a few I haven't tried. They have a new one out. Today I grabbed the peaches and the watermelon, which are grocery store staples. You can always find those. I do enjoy those. My husband bought me a 3-pound bag of gummy bears for Mother's Day.
I really don't know how you are not an influencer for that brand.
Why? Someone got Nerds PR box the other day, like a Nerds Gummy Clusters PR box. After talking about them one time, excuse me, ma'am.
How pissed were you, huh?
So mad. So mad. And she's a podcaster too with like a huge audience. I mean, that could be the reason why, guys, but I was very sad.
Do you have any other candies to share?
I have one last one. Snow caps.
Gross. Gross.
I'm 100 years old. I love a nonpareil. I love them. I ordered a giant bag from nuts.com. Guys, if you need candy online.
And I laughed like a 12-year-old because you said nuts.com.
Of bigger nonpareils. Like, these are like chocolate chip size. The ones I ordered online were like more like a chocolate disc. So good.
But aren't
I
those...
do think that's an old lady candy.
Are those milk chocolate?
These, the Snowcat brand is semi-sweet, and I do believe the ones I ordered were semi-sweet or dark chocolate.
Those are like a movie theater staple that I don't know who gets them. Now
Me.
I do. Yeah.
Trader Joe's makes a good version.
What? Really? Ugh. Gross. Okay, I got one last thing. And I know you're going to get down with these. These always hit the spot. It's the Hostess donut.
Ugh.
These are... What?
You prefer the chocolate? Would that be your, like, go-to?
I switch back and forth. This is the frosted chocolate with the yellow center. Did you know that they also have a chocolate center one?
Did not.
You can mostly find them like at gas stations.
Yeah.
But I like these, and I like the coconut crumb ones as well.
Powdered doesn't make your list?
They make too much of a mess.
They do, but they're delicious.
Listen,
I love
I
a
love
powdered
them,
donut.
But I'm usually eating these in my car, and I
Me
don't...
too, man. Me too. You take the fabric of your shirt and you rub it together. This is how you eliminate powdered sugar mess and hide the evidence.
Oh my god. I will say that chocolate ones will sometimes leave chocolate on your teeth too. You gotta always check your
You need to
teeth.
keep a wisp in your car.
Those are things I keep in my car.
I know.
That is so funny. I love a Hostess donut. I don't live on them now. They are definitely a treat for me. But when I was in high school, like,
Oh, yeah.
that's what you bought at nutrition or what, the break, your first break. It would be a Coke and Hostess donuts. And that may have been my only thing I would eat all day long. Yeah.
We had the cart at our high school as well. And yes, the Hostess donuts were a go-to. We also had delicious breakfast burritos, which is so odd. But for
yummy.
I have been chasing the flavor of that particular breakfast burrito for my entire life. Like the little packet of hot sauce that you would get and that like high school breakfast burrito, man, it hit the spot. And yeah, I probably drink a Coke with it at 10:10 in the morning.
Yeah, okay, but now that I just had like a vivid flashback of the hot sauce packet. You and I went to very close high schools.
Yep, probably had the same catering service.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Heidi, I'm going to need you to write in and weigh in and let me know if you remember a breakfast burrito. Because I think there might have been a breakfast burrito.
Delicious. We also had a delicious chocolate chip muffin. like a vanilla cakey muffin with chocolate chips. I mean, it was cake. Like, let's be very real. It was delicious. I've never had the Costco muffins come close, but they're not quite it.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
I mean, maybe my palate wasn't that refined as a 16-year-old.
Is it as a 41-year-old?
Well, look, I eat a wide variety of foods. Are you suggesting that I do not have a refined palate as an adult?
No, I'm not. And in fact, we have an episode plan coming up, like our favorite healthy things to eat, right?
Nutritious.
Okay. I mean, if you want to talk about beets, I can talk about beets. I love beets,
What?
Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, zucchini. I love it all. Love it all. And we will talk about it.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come right back with Megan and Wendy approved. All right, guys, we are back to talk about Megan and Wendy approved. And Wendy, what do you have?
Today I had a hard time coming up with one. I thought there's a new TV show I'm watching that I really like. I almost did that one. I'm reading a new book that I'm enjoying. And if you're a Vanderpump Rules fan, you guys might want to hear about that one. But the weather is warming up. And I grabbed one of my go-to things this weekend. You guys, it's the Lush Silky Underwear Dusting Powder. If you get, let's say, sweaty in your nether regions, this is good for body. It's a body powder. You can put it everywhere. But man, this gets a lot of use during the summer, and I'm almost out, so I'm going to have to get some more. But I love this stuff. It's by Lush. Did I say it's by Lush?
You did. I really need to stock up on my sweat solutions, like the Mega Babe Thigh Rescue and the Bust Dust for boob sweat. You know, I love my Gold Bond spray. I need it all. I have noticed as the weather is starting to warm up, the sweat has returned.
I know. I think I texted you a couple weeks ago. I was like, it's way too early in the year to break out the Gold Bond. But...
Totally. So I do not have a thing you can purchase. I have a television show / television personality, and that is the comedian Nate Bargatze. I watched his 2021 Netflix special maybe a month ago, and it's called The Greatest Average American, and it was filmed maybe late 2020, but it's definitely a pandemic recording. It's outside. It's like in a parking lot, and one of the funniest parts about it is multiple helicopters fly overhead as he's recording, just because he's, I don't know, in LA or somewhere, and there's a lot going on, and he kind of works it into his routine. The thing about it is he has other specials on Netflix, and I started watching another one last night. I am always on the hunt for relaxing, non-stressful to watch TV. His comedy is clean, which I'm not like, oh, please don't say bad words. But it's also some comedians, because of cable television, I feel like they go so far the opposite direction. Every other word is a word that I wouldn't necessarily say, and I say a lot of bad words. It's just very relaxing. Like, he's just kind of relaxing to listen to. I laughed out loud multiple times during both episodes. He's funny. It's just like observations on life. He's married and has a kid, and he's just kind of like an average dude telling jokes, and I find him entertaining.
I like that. I like that kind of stuff too. Maybe I will check that out. So, is it family friendly or is it rated mature?
I would say it's family friendly. It's pretty clean. I wasn't watching it with that in mind, so don't quote me on that. But I think that's his thing.
I want to watch that. I'll watch that.
Yeah, The Greatest Average American is his most recent, but he also has The Tennessee Kid on Netflix, and he may have others on Netflix. And then I was looking up the name of the most recent special because I can never remember anything, and there's a bunch on YouTube as well. So, if you don't have Netflix, you can watch him there.
Cool. We'll link it all in the show notes.
We will. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. We will be back on Thursday with a Hallmark episode featuring Baby It's Cold Inside. There was no Hallmark episode last week, but there is this week. Wendy's so excited. This takes place in an ice hotel, which, I find stressful, but maybe I'll enjoy it. And while you're here, click on over. If you haven't left a review yet, we would love it so much if you would take the 2 minutes to leave us a rating and a review. It's not just like a feeding our ego thing, although it does that. It actually helps. There are hundreds of thousands of podcasts in the Apple podcast system, and standing out is a challenge. So we would love it if you enjoy the podcast, if you would take a minute to leave a rating. And until next time, have a great week, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.